Welcome to Ohio University's Intramural Sports 7v7 Soccer Captain's video. This video, along with the soccer rulebook, will help you pass your captain's quiz. Before we get into the sport-specific rules, we're going to go over some general policies and procedures for intramural sports. Listed here is our contact information. We are located in the Ping Recreation Center, and our office is open Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop by, call us, or shoot us an email. So what are your responsibilities as a captain? As a captain, we expect that you are familiar with all of our rules and policies and that you inform your teammates of all of these rules. You also need to check the eligibility of all your team members and make sure that your team on IM League meets the player minimum. And finally, as the captain, you need to set the example of sportsmanship and make sure that you are respectful of other participants and the IM staff. Here at OU, we have a couple of different league layouts. In every league and sport, we will offer Co-Ed A, Co-Ed B, men's and women's leagues. Within these different variations, we offer competitive leagues and recreation leagues. Competitive leagues have 3 regular season games and a playoff afterwards. In recreational leagues, you just have 5 regular season games and no playoffs. Game time is forfeit time. This means that if your team does not arrive on time or you do not have enough players to start the game, your team will be issued a forfeit. You can also be issued a forfeit if you are caught using an ineligible player, or if your team receives 3 yellow cards in the same game, you will receive a forfeit. Once again, game time is forfeit time, but you can default from games if you know that you will not be there. In order to default, the captain can notify us by 4 p.m. the day of your game, or by 4 p.m. on Fridays if you have a Sunday game. You can do this in person or through email. It's important to note that we do not accept defaults over the phone. If your team does forfeit a game and you are in a competitive league, you will need to pay a $20 reinstatement fee by the day before the bracket selection in order to participate in the playoffs. So who is eligible to play? Any Athens campus student enrolled in 1 credit hour is eligible to participate in intramural sports, and any faculty and staff member can participate if they purchase a faculty and staff pass. In competitive leagues, there are restrictions for club athletes and varsity athletes. If you are trying to participate on a team in a similar sport than what your club or varsity team is, the competitive leagues can only have 2 club athletes per roster, and varsity athletes cannot play in competitive leagues. Once again, this is only if it's a similar sport. Roster additions must happen online before the game begins. Players need to purchase a membership pass and add themselves to your roster before the game begins. You can purchase 3 types of membership passes: an annual pass, which will let you play any sport for the whole academic year, a semester pass, which lets you play any sport for that semester, or a season pass, which lets you play any sport for that specific season. For competitive teams, it's important to know that your rosters are locked after your last regular season game and no more additions are allowed. Each team does have a few responsibilities. Like we just mentioned, all players must have an IM Leagues account. You should try to arrive to the game 15 minutes beforehand. You must bring a government-issued ID, a photo ID, with you to your games. All players are required to wear appropriate footwear, which includes not wearing metal cleats. We also ask that all players bring a light and a dark colored jersey, but no gray, as that can be confused as light or dark. That way, if your team shows up wearing the same color as the other team, you'll already have a backup jersey to change into. Please also review the list of illegal equipment below, and note that jewelry is not accepted in any intramural sports. You are also not allowed to tape the jewelry, so please just do not wear it. Sportsmanship is very important in intramural sports. Each game you'll receive a sportsmanship grade, which is an A through an E. We then use this grade and calculate it like a GPA to find out what your sportsmanship grade really is. For competitive teams, you need to have a 2-5 to make the playoffs, and rec teams a 2-5 to stay in your league. Captains, it is your responsibility at the end of the game to approach our staff and find out what grade they gave you so that you know if it's entered right onto imleagues.com or not. You can protest a few things in intramural sports: eligibility, sportsmanship, and rule misinterpretations. If you protest a rule misinterpretation, it has to happen at the field before the next dead ball. And if you protest your eligibility or sportsmanship, you may protest it at the field or by 4 p.m. the next day in writing to our office. So let's talk about some soccer specific rules. All soccer games will be held at Mill Street Fields. In Co-ed A soccer, if a female scores, her goal is worth 2 points, and in Co-ed B soccer, the scoring is the same no matter what the gender is. Of course, you need 7 players on the field, 6 and a goalie, or 5 players minimum to start the game, which is 4 and a goalie. In co-ed leagues, you must have 3 males and 3 females on the field, and the gender of the goalie does not matter. When the ball is out of bounds, it is out of bounds because the entire ball has crossed the line. If any part is still touching the line, the ball is still in bounds. Besides all of the normal intramural equipment rules, such as jewelry is illegal, that you must bring a white and a colored shirt, it's important to note that for soccer, you also must wear shin guards. We suggest that you bring your own. However, if you do not, we do have some that you can rent out from us at our field house at Mill. In order to score in soccer, the whole ball must cross the goal line. All goals by a female in co-ed A will be worth 2 points, and any other goal is worth 1 point, including a penalty kick. So if a penalty kick is taken by a female player, her goal will only be awarded 1 point. Possession, there is no offsides in 7v7 soccer, and we will flip a coin before the game in order to determine who will start with the ball. Each game will be comprised of 2 18-minute halves, and we will have running clock until the last minute of the half, and anytime the whistle blows, we will stop the clock. Halftime will be about 3 minutes, but could be a little longer depending on the game. You do not have timeouts in soccer. There's no overtime in regular season, and if a team is up by more than 5 points, their clock will not stop and will just keep running. Substitutions are not on the fly. You must report in at midfield, and you can only enter the game when the ref waves you on. Anyone can sub on a goal kick or after a goal, and you can sub on your own throw-in or corner kick. If a player is shown a yellow card, you must replace them immediately. Slide tackling in intramural soccer is always illegal. If you perform a legal slide tackle, you will automatically receive a yellow card and must be subbed out of the game. If you commit an illegal slide tackle, you will receive an automatic red card and will be disqualified from the game, and your team will play a player down. You can see here when the game will automatically be forfeited, so try avoid compiling cards. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by the Competitive Sports office. Good luck this season.